heavy. So they're using a T-post across the back and their weight to push down on the hard ground. I had to come down here and fix this fence, and I noticed these beautiful purple flowers. See if I can get you closer. They're just beautiful. But I also noticed what they were. Here's some that hadn't put out yet. See the little balls? But I want you to notice this plant. I'm going to get you the name of it and put it on the screen. But watch this. I've got me a stick. See my stick. Okay, I want you to let me. This camera is not good close up, so I'm going to be a little bit further away. Watch these stems. Did you see that? Let me do this one. See the leaves closing up? Let me see if I can use my finger and it does any better. See the leaves are closing up? It's going to eat me up. Look at it closing on my finger. Isn't that wonderful? Look, they close all the way up. Here's a bigger leaf right here. It's eating me. All you have to do is look around. This pasture has now been, the cows would reach their heads through here and eat this stuff. But the pasture's now been dormant for about 6 months now. And yeah, it's overgrown and there's all kind of things growing in it. But that's exactly what we want. That's what regeneration is all about. We let all the different grasses grow. And we're building where the cows are going to drink. And they were always allowed, I'm not on a good place, but you can see this is a big pond, lake, whatever you want to call it. And they've always been able to drink the whole, it goes all the way over to that big tree further. And they've always been able to drink where they wanted all day and stand in the pond. And that is done. They're going to have this little corner and that's it. And we will start building this soil back up. Here's what they've done. See, that's where the bank was, and here's what cows have done. So we're going to stop that. Week 7 in the sorghum.
little boy.
Oh,
Easy.
look at that face.
Easy, baby.
Turn him this way. See that face? Oh my goodness. He looks like a panda.
Yeah. Easy. 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 Hey, beautiful. Hey, beautiful. Hey, sweet boy. Hey, sweet boy. What are you doing there, wobbly legs? What are you doing there, wobbly legs? Glim, Glim. What you doing, Glim, Glim? What do you think about your little brother? You got a baby brother. Did you see him? Say good, mama. Hey, good mama. Hey, good mama. You had a handsome boy.
We got all of our elderberries, not all of them, just a big bowl full, picked, so I can go ahead and process these. I was going to get another basket, but baskets pull the berries off, and so the only thing we're going to do with these is rinse them off and get them ready for bags. So I'll show you that in just a little bit, but I wanted to show you the gift I received this week. And I am very excited about it because, as you know, my tomatoes just did not do anything. Still think it was remnants of some herbicidal spray in the atmosphere because some of my elderberries are suffering too. But my friend who heard about my garden, because we talk about gardens, of course. You always talk about gardens to all your friends. And if you're not talking about God, you're talking about gardens. And for the past couple of years, she's had her first garden. This year is her third year of gardening, and I'm so excited for her. And she has done such a wonderful job. And now, she put away a little bit last year, but this year she is really going to town on absolutely being able to put stuff away. But she gave me a gift. Now this is not the whole thing. These are the ones I didn't even set up a table. This back porch has a big old table on it for ripening tomatoes, and I did not set one up, and she gave me 5 gallons of tomatoes. With this 5 gallons and of the little bit that I'm going to make, I know I'm going to have 2 cannerfuls at least of sauce. Spaghetti sauce is what we make, and they are absolutely beautiful. Look at them. All different kinds of tomatoes, and we're going to put them, these are the ones that weren't quite ripe. I've got the other ones in the sink. And if you followed me at all, you know you can take these tomatoes and wash them and put them in a bag and stick them in the freezer. The only problem with that is they are bulky and they take up a lot of room, and sometimes I don't have the time during canning season to go back and get all them tomatoes and take them out of the freezer, and stuff's always going in the freezer like these elderberries. So what we do with them is we roast them. So we'll cut them in half, squeeze the seeds out of them, and I'll show you that process today since we're going to be doing some, and roast them, and that takes away a lot of the juices. And just about everything you make, except for like stewed tomatoes, you need the juice out of them. If you're making ketchup, if you're making spaghetti sauce like we do, you really have to reduce that juice, and by roasting them like that, the job's done. I mean, you have to be careful and even save some of that juice, because the spaghetti sauce can actually get a little dry if you don't. So I just wanted to, number one, I think giving gifts of produce or seeds. I've got another fabulous friend that's a friend of my daughter's, and every year she gives me seed. And as a gift. This friend, we have this funny thing going that we always get together at Christmas and have some Christmas cookies, and we're big yard sellers, so we go to a yard sale whenever we can, and our thing is to see which one of us can get the neatest antique. It's always an antique because we both love antiques, especially cast iron. What can we find under $5? And we try to stay around the $2 and $3 area. And it's just fun to see what we can come up with. And but that needs to be the normal. This going out and going to big chain stores and buying plastic, you are encouraging those that put that junk on the shelves to make more. And we try not to do that at all. I'm not saying there isn't things like toilet paper that we really enjoy from the store, but if you've got somebody that you're just buying knickknacks for and something they have to dust, don't do that. They're going to want to leave it setting out so you'll see it, and it's made in Japan, it's been shipped, it's not local, and you know, we're just all about local. If you want to buy somebody a real expensive gift that you can, I'm just a big money spender, go buy them some honey. It's not going to go bad. It's very expensive now. It's kind of rare. You'll have to go look for it. And it's wonderful for their health. And even for somebody that doesn't use honey, if they had a quart jar to be able to play with, they could learn how to use it instead of sugar. And what a wonderful gift. Well, I didn't know I was going to get into gift ideas today, but I mean, when you get a perfect gift like this, what else can you do but talk about gifts? Look at them. Some of them are pink. Look. Oh, they're so beautiful. My son was laughing at me because we always help Papaw in his garden. So we all went over there and got Papaw's potatoes up. And for the first time in 3 years, he had a bumper crop of potatoes. So that's why I was discussing with my son. I said, you know, we didn't get the tomatoes this year, and so the spaghetti sauce is going to be lean this year. We still got some left over from last year, but we'll have to be more careful with it. And so I said, but what I'll do is he doesn't have a good place to store his potatoes. So what we're going to do is, I told my son, I said, we'll just can him some and put them in pint jars. He's just one person, and he can just pour them on the stove and warm them up, and there he's done. He doesn't have to go all the way out to the shed to get the potatoes or peel them or anything. They're already done. And I said, so we'll do us a whole bunch like that too, because we don't ever have, I can't grow a potato. I just gave up on those. Those are just, I might have done bad on tomatoes this year, but, oh yeah, well you saw my potato, that was experimental potato row, but not even one came up. So that's how good I am at potatoes. So, no expert here. So I told him, you know, we'll just put ours in quart jars, and we'll just have us some fast food tomatoes. Not tomatoes, potatoes. And the little kitty she's ready for me to pet her. So I said, well, we'll have plenty of potatoes. And he said, no, I just don't know about that. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I just don't know if I can get used to white spaghetti sauce. And he was absolutely kidding. He knew that I wasn't gonna make spaghetti sauce out of potatoes, but it's just that normally our pantry shelf is just red with tomatoes, and this year it's going to be white. It's good to have a sense of humor about things that you just can't do anything about. But look at this gift. Look at this gift. This whole table's full. I know that this 5-gallon bucket will do a whole canner full of tomatoes. I'm getting a few tomatoes too, just a few, and we've got plenty to eat, you know, for sandwiches and stuff, which is the most wonderful thing. But and Papa's got a few, so we'll get some from him. And you know, if I had extra money, I would definitely go out. I do encourage you, if you don't grow a garden, if you live in an apartment or the city, this is prime time for you to go to the farmer's market. Every little town has a farmer's market, so there's no excuse not to go and get and support your local farmers. They're struggling. They're out there working in 90-degree heat to bring you a tomato. And this right here is a gift. This is like eating, they're so sweet, like eating a fresh apple. So, I just wanted to encourage you today and tell my dear friend thank you for this beautiful and wonderful gift that is going to be used and enjoyed by the whole family all year. That's the thing. She gave me a gift of a 5-gallon bucket of tomatoes, and we're going to enjoy it all year. So we can thank her and maybe say a little prayer for that friend, that when you remember, oh, that friend gave me this those tomatoes that made that sauce. I need to say a prayer for her today. That's a good way to remind yourself of praying for people. So we've about got this bucket empty. And I know you're tired of hearing about tomatoes. So I'm going to cut you off. And we will move on to processing these tomatoes. And this is what it looks like when it comes out of the oven. And these are fixing to go in. See how dry the pan is? Let me borrow your spoon there, Miracle. These are a little too hot to touch, but I'll show you the juice. So when you take this out of the oven, you have to be really careful so you don't spill this juice on you. So I'm going to try to show you how to do this with just one hand. So these are all cool, nice and cool, and the skins come right off. Put them in the chicken bucket. And then just put these in your bag. So what I usually do is just pick up the whole thing, put it over the bag. Very easy. Now again, why we do this is because we're going to make spaghetti sauce or ketchup out of these tomatoes. And to do that, you've got to get rid of some of the moisture. And normally, what they say to do, and a lot of the seeds drop out too, what they say to do is stew it for a long time. But if you do it this way, it gets rid of most of the moisture. And it doesn't take up as much room in your freezer. And one of the main reasons we started doing it is because we don't have a lot of freezer space, but we didn't have a lot of tomatoes getting ready at one time. And you need about 2 of these Ziploc bags, 2 gallons, to make a batch. So I know that when I get a couple of these full, which these 2 pans will probably fill this bag up as much as I want to fill it up, I will know that I have enough tomatoes to go ahead and make my sauce. To have 7-quart jars to put in the canner. So there you go. That is just the easiest method I found. Cutting them in half takes just a few minutes, but then let's see, we've got a third of this pan done, and look, we still got juice in there, but they're all going to fit in this one bag, and the other pan that's coming out will too.